Hello, everybody. It's midnight again, and welcome to Rotting Flesh Movie Reviews. I'm your host, Billy Pop, and spoilers ahead because I just watched the producer's cut of Halloween 6 The Curse of Michael Myers. Uh, Basically, I just want to mention off the top that this is the producer's cut, so it's different than the theatrical. This was a movie made in 1995, directed by Joe Chappelle. The film stars Donald Pleasence in his final role, a role he played for quite some time. Dr. Loomis, of course, and Paul Rudd is in this as well. I think it introduced him to the world. He's playing the role of Tommy Doyle, the little boy Laurie Strode was babysitting in the original film. George P. Wilbur is back as the first guy to play Michael Myers twice, which I think is fantastic. So anyway, to get going on the plot here, basically Jamie Lloyd was abducted the same night as Michael in Part 5 when he was sprung loose from the can, and she was taken to this temple, the Cult of Thorn, and it's they basically, she has a baby, and it seems as though they're going to sacrifice the baby in some way or another. More than likely, Michael would be killing the baby, and she's like, "Give me the baby," and the man in black's there, and he's walking away, and this lady runs up and go. They're sending Michael, I guess, to go kill her. So the lady lets Jamie go. Jamie runs away. And she ends up at I guess, a bus station, and she calls into this radio program saying, "Michael's back, Michael's back." Well, on the other side of this, Tommy Doyle, being a weirdo, he's played by Paul Rudd, is living at the Blankenship boarding house, and he's spying on the Strode / Myers residence. That's right. Some of some of Laurie Strode's relatives have now moved into the Myers house. Now, if that isn't a fuck up on their part, I don't know what is. I'm just gonna say that now. So, anyways, Loomis is, checking out the radio, and this guy's still alive. I mean, you gotta admit, that's pretty fucking crazy. Like, Dr. Loomis has fought against Michael Myers in 5 fucking films. Sorry, 4 films. And he's walking towards the motherfucker every time, and Michael kills him. Every fucking time. It just blows my mind. Anyway, so he's listening to the radio, and and so is Tommy Doyle, and they're hearing Jamie. Well, while Dr. Loomis is listening to the radio, his old colleague, Dr. Wynn, shows up, tells him he's retiring from Smith's Grove, and he wants Loomis to be his predecessor. And Loomis looks like the fucking Crypt Keeper compared to this guy. Like, I mean, he looks way older than him. It's just amazing. The balls on this dude to even ask him to start working again. It's just rude. But he declines anyway. Anyway, he hears Jamie on the radio, and he's like, "Oh shit, Michael's back." So he gets his gun, and he's on his way. So anyway, Michael eventually finds Jamie, but she hid her baby from him. So she crashes her truck in the Tuoleys and waits in a barn for Michael to kill her. I recall her death in the theatrical cut being far more gruesome, and it turns out that's because she doesn't die in this one. That blew my mind, because when the authorities find her, I thought they were showing her dead body, and her eyes were rolling around under her eyelids, and I was like, that chick cannot act worth a shit. But turns out she's in a coma, so there you go. At the Strode household, Kara Strode is studying for something or whatever, and her son lives with her, and her son's being visited by this man in black through apparitions in his closet saying, "Kill for him." Or whatever, right? And, well, during a family argument, because her dad's a huge dickhead, calls her son a bastard, and calls her whatever, waste of skin or something, and he ends up slapping her. And the whole time, Danny's hearing the man in black. Her son is hearing the man in black going, "Kill for him," and he sees Michael like outside, and the next scene, it shows, or the next clip, he's like holding a knife to his grandpa's stomach, and he doesn't kill him though, unfortunately. Anyway, Tommy's listening to a recording of Jamie's phone call and figures out that she was at the bus station. He goes there, finds the baby. When they find Jamie's body, Loomis and Wynn are standing there, and they see the Cult of Thorns symbol and she's in a coma, right? And they see this, and the Dr. Wynn's like, "What's that?" And Dr. Loomis says, "Oh, it's Michael's mark. He's here. He's home." You know, that kind of shit, because that's what Dr. Loomis always says. But he's got, I love his lines, man, every time. Kara shows a picture that Danny drew to her brother and his girlfriend, and her brother goes, "I think it's cool," and it's like a picture of like all of his family dead or something, and I was just like, that's that I think it's cool line is just so fucking bad. Anyway, Tommy and Loomis meet up, and Tommy explains to Loomis that, okay, this baby is the key to Michael, and he's gonna kill the baby, or he needs the baby blood, basically. And Loomis is like, oh my god. So we're 42 minutes in at this point, and no one's dead. We think old lady Strode is gonna get her, but Loomis instead runs in and starts ranting at her crazily. Michael's here, we have to get out of here, and you're gonna die, or whatever. And for good reason. I don't blame him for doing that shit. She should have left. Loomis, it doesn't show him leave, but he doesn't. Normal Lewis would have brought her with him, but they must have cut that maybe out of one of the cuts. I don't know, but she didn't go, and she should have left because here's Mikey, kind of thing. So anyway, Tommy and Danny end up meeting on the street, and when Kara comes home, Tommy and the baby are in Danny's room, and and then. That's kind of uncomfortable, but that's fine. Nothing happened. So anyways, then we get this scene of very unfortunate scene of Jamie. She's in the hospital in her coma, and we can see her dream or whatever, and apparently she was forced upon by Michael. The cult made Michael in some way with their spells or whatever bear Jamie's child, or not bear her child. You know what I mean? I don't want to get into that, but it was really weird, and I was like, why would they do that? But I mean, okay, fair enough. We're gonna get wild and crazy up in here, but anyway, so Michael, we find out, was a child who was cursed by Thorn when he was little, hence why he's just this mindless robot. Mrs. Blankenship tells Kara that Danny is like Michael because he hears the voice of the Men in Black, which was kind of creepy and weird because we don't get really any words from Mrs. Blankenship until that. Kara's brother gets killed, and Kara is looking out the window watching it happen. And then not her brother, but she watches her brother's girlfriend getting stabbed. And then through the window, she sees her son walking towards the Myers house. And she's like, oh, shit. So she goes in. We get the inevitable chase scene where the bodies fall from wherever they are. And this all leads us to basically everybody, Tommy, Danny, Kara, everybody, the whole peanut gallery are in together at the Blankenship house. And then they all hear the Men in Black. Dr. Loomis is there too, of course. And turns out Doctor Wynn's the Men in Black. Blankenship's a part of it. It's kind of got Rosemary's Baby vibes. Tommy and Loomis go into Smith's Grove, I guess is where they have to be. I don't know if this temple is under Smith's Grove. That's what it seems like. And they have this ritual, and they're trying to get Michael to kill the baby. Michael won't do it for some reason. So, anyways, Paul Rudd saves the day with a couple rocks. Yeah, that's right. I'm just going to leave it there. So, I don't know what you thought of that description, but the directing of this movie was nice. It wasn't anything special, but, it appeared to be Halloween, and we had some good angles and some nice colors, and, oh, wow, it was a pretty nice-looking movie. The editing was fucked, though. That could have been because Donald Pleasance was, damn near toast, but I don't know. The editing seemed fucked, and, I mean, they did have, 2 or 3 different cuts. I've never seen the director's cut. I've seen the theatrical. I've seen the producers. I don't know. Usually they don't want to go with the producer's cut, but here we are. So yeah, the editing was a bit of a mess, but not too bad, mostly near the end. The acting was alright, except for Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd was, trying to be Dr. Loomis 2 or something. It was just really, really overly dramatic and kind of fucking cringy. But we forgive him. He's Paul Rudd, I guess. Great Michael Myers. That Wilbur dude, he's a good dude at playing that. The effects were mostly aftermath kills, but what they showed was pretty cool. There was some kills on camera. They weren't bad. Michael's mask finally being pretty decent. I'd say this is the best it's looked since the first movie, or I guess the second movie, because I think it was the same mask. The music is the best it's been since the first movie for sure. It's the same fucking music, but it's just done pretty well. Uh, the writing, although odd, was optimistic and tried maybe a little too hard to be epic, but you know what? I'll forgive it because they tried something different. At this point, they tried too hard to add interesting things to something that was meant to be the same. Okay? And that made it, for me, kind of fun, kind of a different thing. I like this installment quite a bit. I love the atmosphere, and I think this is the best mask in Michael so far since the first movie. So yeah, the mask, but the mask, the mask is the main thing, and it adds the sex appeal. So there you go. Yeah, something different dares to be original. Actually, I'm giving this the same rating I gave the original Halloween, which might shock people, but yeah, this is an 8 out of 10 for me. It was fun. I know no one else feels the same way. Hate me if you want. If you do, you're petty, and so what? Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time on Rotting Flesh Movie Reviews.
That Magic Production.